welcome to General Hospital Envy, my GH After Show, coming at you on a Monday night tonight because I really wanted to bring in the What If episode with my review, so it seemed fitting to wait a day. I'm pretty sure that we were supposed to get the What If episode on a Friday, but because of all the preamps, it got pushed back a day, but it seemed like a proper way to end a week, not start one, so that's why I wanted to kind of wait a day to do this review. Before we get into the What If episode though, let's talk about last week's highlights. One being that Spencer Cassadine rigged the election. It's kind of funny because like Nicholas did it, and it's also kind of weird because like the Cassadines are Russians, the Russians rigging an election. Was it poor taste or not? Let me know in the comments below what you thought. You know, I kind of get mad anyway because back when Nicholas rigged the election, it made no freaking sense. He just randomly turned into a bad guy and rigged the election so that Felicia wouldn't win for reasons that were never explained. Pissed me off. At least with Spencer, he only wanted to rig the election so that Laura would have more time to campaign. And that's, you know, good from his heart, I guess, but also bad because of the consequences for his actions. If it gets out that Spencer rigged the election, this means hell for Laura, so not good. Not good at all. Of course, Britt is back on the show, as you guys know, and she reunited with little Spencer as well as her BFF Brad. Loved those scenes, and I love that Brad confided in her about what he did. Not surprising at all. As much as I hate this whole switcheroony, I like that Britt was like, well, you're protecting this little guy from Sonny's mob world. At least Britt, as you know, conniving as she is, can see that part, and it makes sense, and I get where she's coming from. But man, like this story is gonna stretch on forever. I don't think Michael's gonna get his son back anytime soon. Oh, that reminds me, Nell also returned again last week, and she was in Ferncliff, not Pentonville. Turned out she faked crazy because she thought that Ferncliff would be a lot easier. Too bad for her, Jason and Sam were doing some investigating and saw her, and then Nell slipped up and said that she was crazy. And you know, a crazy person does not know that they're crazy. Oh well, back to Pentonville you go. What was the point? Like, it was so random that this happened. By the way, Nell was in the room that Kevin was supposed to be in, so where on earth is Kevin now? Finally, Sonny tells Margot exactly what happened when it came to Joe Scully and her mother. That her mother actually, you know, wanted Joe Scully to kill her father, and that's what happened, and that's what leads into the What If episode. By the way, before we get into that, the fact that she kicked her mom out of her house was so strange. Like, where did she go? How did she let that happen? I don't even know. Alright, now without further ado, let's get into the What If episode of General Hospital, all about Sonny. Alright, so after carrying Margot's drunk ass to the couch, Sonny went there and pondered what life would be like if he had never taken that shot at Margot's father. So in this new world scenario, Sonny is married to Olivia and living in Brooklyn, and Julian and Ava are running the mob in Port Charles. Dante is also not a cop, but a mobster, and Jason is Julian's right-hand man. Dante is married to Sam. It's a weird, weird world, you guys. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this episode. Pro. Young Sonny Corinthos was played by Joshua Bernard, aka Maurice Bernard's real-life son. Of course he looked the part. Another pro, Dominic Zamprogna returned as Dante Falconeri and was far more interesting than his character has been in the last 5 years, so that was great. Another pro was that Anna Devane was once again the police commissioner. Unfortunately, she wasn't a very good one because she's broken, and we'll get into why in the cons. And finally, pro, Pizzulo's, the restaurant that Sonny owns in the real world and that Julian owns in this world, is busy. We've never seen customers in there before, so that was kind of fun to see. Alright, now let's get into the cons, and by cons, I mean mistakes that should not have been made in this episode. One being that Carly's son was still named Michael. Y'all know Carly named Michael after Sonny, so why did that happen in this world? 2. Robin died of AIDS. Keh? Okay, first of all, I know that she didn't meet Stone because of Sonny, however, they were close because of Sonny, they were dating because of Sonny, so her actually contracting HIV and it going into full-blown AIDS made no sense. Furthermore, they insinuate that if it wasn't for Sonny's mob money, Robin would have died of AIDS. No. Research happened even without the AIDS wing that Sonny put in their name, and, you know, all over the world, so that made no sense either. 3. Jason Smith. Jason Smith, really? So what you're telling me is that Jason wouldn't have changed his last name to Morgan, aka Lila's maiden name, if it wasn't for Sonny? Where does that make sense? Why would he take Frank Smith's last name? I'm assuming, of course, that Jason worked for Frank Smith before he worked for Julian Jerome. 4, and this is more of a technical behind-the-scenes thing that longtime viewers like myself would notice, Olivia and Sonny's house in Brooklyn was Olivia's house in Port Charles before she married Ned. Aye, barely changed as well. It's almost as irritating as the fact that Margot's mother's house was actually Carly's house at one point when she was married to Jax before they moved into that bigger house. Also, Luke's childhood home from way back in the day in the flashbacks when he was, going crazy. I notice these things and it drives me nuts, especially when they don't bother to change really anything about the set at all. Slightly better paint job. That's about it. Now don't get me wrong, I really love these one-off episodes that they do for GH, and this was in tribute to Maurice Bernard having been on the show for 25 years. Congratulations, by the way. What an achievement. But, I feel like nothing's going to come of this. I really didn't like when they did the Ava-centric episode that she didn't learn anything from that bad dream thing. And I honestly don't see Sonny having any change of heart when it comes to his lifestyle. It would just be nice if these one-off episodes really brought change to the show, For me, the coolest part of the episode was when Dante accidentally got shot by Sonny and they repeated the scene of Olivia going to Dante's body and looking at Sonny and saying, "You just shot your own son." What a nod to history. Such a good little thing that they did there on the episode. I liked it. Poor Dante though, even if Sonny wasn't in the mob, he'd still get shot by his father. What a conundrum. What did you guys think of the What If episode? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts and opinions. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys next week.